volunteer sweet potatoes that we planted last year and the year before, maybe the year before. They keep volunteering. Anyways, what we're doing here today is we're cleaning up our greenhouse. We're taking all the leftover potatoes we're finding. We found some over here in this bed, and this other bed here we found some more. And so we're cleaning all that up. We got some beautiful November eggplants. It is very warm today. We're supposed to be in the mid 80s today. That's pretty warm for November, even here in East Texas. But we got some beautiful eggplants here. We're going to have a delicious meal for the next couple of days. And so we're going to be enjoying those eggplants. I'm going to take up the rest of these potatoes here, these volunteers. They really don't do anything. We'll give the leaves to the chickens. And yeah, and they can enjoy some too. Now, as you've seen in the beginning of the video, we picked a ton load of persimmons off our 2 trees. We have 2 persimmon trees. We have to have several hundred persimmons, and we've been eating like 2 or 4, or actually more than that, maybe 4 to 6 persimmons every morning. We'll go in the boxes and pick the ripest ones and take those and eat those right after breakfast. And oh, they're so sweet and just ripe and juicy and sweet. Wonderful. Nothing like growing your own fruits. Oh, just so sweet. But yeah, so we've been busy doing that. I've been taking a break from the storage building, working on that. I have a lot of work to do on that. But I'm going to take a little break from that. We have to get our leafy greens in here, so we got to get our lettuces in here, our cabbages, broccoli, just a bunch of cool crops, crops for cooler weather in here, and get those going because we're in November already, and by mid-February I got to start planting some of our regular potatoes in here. They do super well in here, potatoes, regular potatoes in the greenhouse. I have a video on that. I'm going to post that up here, put a card up here on that video. So yeah, they do very well in here. So we're going to keep going in here. We have to, like I said, plant our lettuces in here and our cabbages and all that stuff. And so let's get going. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is, what I like to do, is put minerals in my soil. It's something I believe in, and I believe it's very important for your soil, is to have the proper amount of minerals in there. Fertilizer is important too, but you have to have minerals in there for your plants to absorb, so you will get the minerals in your body. And you have to have a good soil, so it has to be a lot of microorganisms in your soil. Bacteria is what breaks down the minerals and feeds them to your plant. The bacteria release a certain type of acid, and it breaks down the minerals into a form where the plants could absorb it, and then when you eat the vegetables, you get those minerals. And the minerals that are in plants are the form their body needs. Okay, so all I'm going to do here, what I like using here is azomite. Okay, Azomite is just a good all-purpose a mineral. It's from volcanic ash, actually. And only thing I do is I get like a cup of it, and I just sprinkle it on the top like this. Don't really need a whole lot. Fertilizer is very important also. Get yourself a good organic fertilizer. If you can't, okay, use regular fertilizer, but I prefer organic. Whatever, I'm not promoting this brand. I just picked this up at a big box store. As long as it's a good organic fertilizer, same deal. Just sprinkle a couple of handfuls over the top like this. There's no real science to this. And then with a rake, I'm just gonna kind of level it out, kind of rake it into the soil. It'll rake in about the first couple inches of soil, because that's really where your roots are gonna go, in the first 2 or 3 inches of soil. And then when you water it, or if you're outside and it rains, it washes things down into the soil deeper. So that's basically it there. So I'm gonna get my rake here and just move it around like that. Now I was going to add some more soil, a couple inches in each bed, but I decided next year I'll do it. It's still okay. It went down considerably from when we first started here, but it's still good. That's basically it, just like that. And now we're ready to plant. You want to help? No? Okay. You want to help plant? You know how? You've been watching us for a long time. You should know how by now. So guys, we are now planting, and we're keeping our soil. We kept our soil dry, very, very dry all summer long. You can see the dust coming up, and the reason for that is, what was it, a year or so ago? Mm-hmm. We planted, and the soil was really moist and wet. And two things happened. One, the roly-polies come in and attacked all our seedlings. As we were planting them, they were eating them up the next day. And I'm going to put a link to that video. Where is it? Up here. And also what was going on is the certain fertilizer I was using, it was chicken manure fertilizer and feathers and things like that it had in it. It started molding. And I don't know if the fungus was in there or what, but I noticed these little round mold, or not mold, it was like fungus growing. And it was making the bottom of the root system of the plant rot and fall over. The plant would just die. So this year we kept it very dry, no roly-polies. It also keeps the fungus down when you keep it drier. And only water minimally. Okay, just what the plant needs, just in and around the plant area, because the root systems don't get that big. And that's about it. I mean, that's how we're going to control it organically. And so just water whatever it needs, but don't overwater, and don't keep the soil wet. And that's all you can do, really, without putting anything in there, any chemicals. A lot of our stuff didn't germinate. There was a couple of types of lettuce that didn't germinate for us. And I thought we were going to have too much lettuce, but it looks like we might not have enough, actually. Or at least not as much as we would have liked. So what we're doing here is just planting like 6, 8 inches apart roughly. And that should be good enough. What we're planting here is it's called a bistro blend. So it's a variety of different lettuces. Really good. It's one of my favorites actually, and it grows really well down here. But you have to be careful about that fungus that I was telling you about. It could get that fungus. So once we plant these, we got to immediately water it because the soil is very dry, and we're just going to start seeing how many beds we can fill up. So guys, we are done planting. Well, done for now, because we're going to be planting by seed more lettuces. We hold on one second here. Not all of our lettuces germinated, so we're kind of short. So what we're doing is we're planting one bed of a particular variety and then leaving one bed open, and then the same thing on the other bed, particular variety, and then leaving another bed open. That way we'll be able to eat out of that first bed, and while the second bed we're going to plant those today, now, and those will start growing eventually. And because the problem with lettuces is sometimes they bolt all at the same time, so you'll be eating out of a bed and then they start bolting on you, going to seed, that is. So this way, this will give us hopefully a few more weeks to a month on the second bed of lettuces. The cabbage, oh man, the cabbage is almost all germinated, more than we wanted. We got the Brunswick cabbage and the late flat Dutch cabbage. Those two always did very good for us, but I forgot they also have a good germination rate. So we got three beds of late flat Dutch cabbage and 3 beds of the Brunswick cabbage. The Brunswick are big and round, and the late flat Dutch, they're big, but they're more flat, okay? Our cauliflower did not germinate very well either. We were going to have a lot more, but we ended up with just 2 beds of cauliflower, and they don't look that great either. So the lettuces, we separated those, spacing I should say, roughly 8 inches apart, or more, or even a foot. But 8 inches, it would be okay. The cabbages, these are like 7 or 8 foot beds. So we only have we try to keep them approximately 2 feet apart if we can. But in these beds, it's roughly about 1.5 feet. So they're kind of crammed. If cabbages get too crammed, their heads will just come out a little smaller, that's all. But not a big deal. But we didn't have that problem. The first year we grew those cabbages, they were just monsters in here. They were huge. So yeah, this year we didn't have a great germination rate on certain lettuces, my cauliflower, but the cabbages did super well. Fantastic. So now it's just a matter of planting by seed, like the lettuces here. And while the first ones are growing, the second ones are right behind it. And we can start eating out of it. While the other ones start bolting, hopefully the other ones will still be okay. Alright guys, so that is pretty much it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. And please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.